What was your absolute biggest challenge prior to purchasing and joining Elite Dropship Academy?
The biggest challenge, I think, is just getting the first sales through. I mean, when you're starting up with a business before the Elite Dropshipping Academy, the getting suppliers and getting the images on the website is the biggest hurdle I had. It's that first hurdle. If you can just get a website up and running and hook up with some quality suppliers with your in each product, then then it was okay. Once I got that set up and the website looked trustworthy, then I began to get sales. But that was the biggest hurdle.
Okay, and how did that challenge make you feel like before you were able to figure it out after joining Elite Dropship Academy? How was that struggle with getting sales? How did that make you feel, not knowing, how to get sales or grow it? How was that like before joining?
Yeah, I mean, the feeling of not getting sales, the struggle, it's a test of the nerves, because you're going to have, when you first start out, a period of time where you have no sales and you wonder, am I doing the right thing? Is this ever going to work? But with persistence, just stick at it. You get your first sales and then your confidence grows. And when I first started, I remember every time we did a sale, we used to celebrate with a bottle of champagne. Of course, nowadays that would not be wise. I'd be drinking continuously. But you need to keep building the business even though the sales aren't coming in. So they will come in, but need to just keep working on improving every aspect of it. Get better products up there, move them around a bit, improve the website, and just keep at it. Improve your marketing. Yeah, and eventually my confidence grew.
When you transition from having a 9-to-5 job working for a company to doing this full time?
Yeah, so I began building a business up while I was working, and just getting the basics right. You've got to set up, your business name, get a website, a Shopify website set up, and just made a few phone calls to potential suppliers initially. And that's what I did while I was working. Once I started getting a couple sales through, I had saved up enough, just a bit of extra money where I could actually commit full time to it. It was some time before it converted to a profit, but it came just with persistence. Yeah.
Yes. And how was that feeling like when you were able to say, now I can quit my job? And, how was that feeling like for you and your family?
Oh, it was fantastic. It's more along the lines of just, oh my God, we're actually making a business that works. My first business, it's earning an income. It gives you freedom. You have freedom like you just don't have in a job. It's like, wow, this is actually working. I can't believe it. So that was good. So, and when we started that, we made profit for some time, and it was a small profit. But once you know you've made a small profit, I always knew I could grow it to a big profit. That's just it. So once you get started, you've got the balls, you've got the momentum going. You can make any profit. You can grow it and multiply it. You just work on different aspects of your business. So I felt fantastic. So I knew I was going to make it early on. Yeah.
I love that. And what changed for you after you joined and purchased Elite Dropship Academy?
I had many areas of my business that were not set up properly, particularly the marketing area. I had, for instance, you have Google Shopping. So doing the Google Shopping courses helped. And with Facebook, I didn't have the pixel set up, so I wasn't targeting the right audience. And that's a bit complicated, but that's, as soon as I got that right, I had no idea it was not done properly. I was able to just double sales pretty quickly. As soon as the marketing channels were set up properly for Elite Dropshipping, And then sales, that's where it really took off. I already had the website set up, but I had many aspects not set up correctly. So that really helped, yeah.
And what specific results can you share with us?
Yeah, so last month I made about $85,000 in sales. So I'll break it down. So that's 29,000 gross profit, and net profit maybe I earn about $18,000 to $20,000 net in the hands. That's my income. But I'm still starting out, so I'm not established. Maybe I'm becoming established. So you earn 18,000 to 20,000 in the hand net income. That's more than what I was earning as a stockbroker. So there's a lot of profit to be made in Elite in high ticket drop shipping, selling high ticket items. And if you get your marketing right, yeah, you can earn a big income. It works.
So you were a stockbroker before this, which people tend to, I guess, connected to being successful and making a lot of money. And this obviously was able to replace that income and some with this business. And clearly, you probably not even putting in the hours you were putting in as a stockbroker into this business.
Yeah, it's far more freedom, less hours, more money. It's not easy. Let's not jump that. But it's just persistence. And I can work anytime throughout the day now and focus on one aspect of the business and then another aspect and improve it. And you're feeling good when you're doing that. And if I get tired or need a break, I just walk down the street and have a break, have a coffee. You know, it's much better than what it used to be in a job. Less stress. You have hurdles, but it's far less stress than a job. So it's gives you more freedom, guaranteed. Yeah.
I love that. So, how did you decide on your first niche? How did you decide on the niche that you're in now?
It's actually my wife and I. We were away on holidays in northern Queensland, which is in Australia, and we visited a few furniture stores and homeware stores, and we had a love for. I don't like shopping, but in a store, but I love going to furniture stores and homeware stores. We loved it. And my wife, well, we had a drink one night and she made a bet to me, a dare you to set up an online furniture store. So we actually, we did it off a bet, to be honest, and it worked. So, but we knew that we looked at some of the people who were already doing well, dare I say, and we just thought we could do better. Maybe it's a bit of self-confidence, a bit of arrogance, but we did it, and we knew that the online world was growing, and we knew that people were increasingly going and shopping online. So that's what we thought. The cost of the overheads of an online business is fairly low. We knew that, and we took a chance. But AJ, we didn't know it was going to work really. We really ventured into the unknown. So we took a chance and we stuck at it and it paid off. Yeah.
And you drop ship in Australia with Australian suppliers to the Australian market, right? So what advice do you have for people that are drop shipping outside of the United States?
Yes. The key thing is with drop shipping, firstly with suppliers, just get some suppliers up front. It doesn't matter if they're particularly the best suppliers in the market. Just get those suppliers signed up with you, or you sign up with them, and get their products onto your website. You've got to get that initial momentum going. Just get a few sales through, and after time, you'll be able to re-engage the best suppliers because you'll be proven to be an existing player in the market. So they'll see you're not new to this game. You've bought or you've sold items on your website, and they'll be more open to picking you up. So it's just getting that initial, get a few suppliers up and getting those images from the suppliers, the product images, any settings photos. I don't know, to say you sold barbecues or something, have a good settings photo from the supplier, ask them permission to use it, put it on your homepage. And once you've got those images on your website with the new supplier products, you've got the ball rolling. And then it's just a matter of, well, it gets easier. Then you can get higher quality suppliers with better products that are more suitable to your niche.
I love that. So, did you have to show your store to the suppliers to get approved?
Yes, so some of them, but not all. Some people just sign me up straight away with just me providing them with our business corporate number. In Australia, we call it an ABN, and that was enough. Other suppliers would ask me a lot of questions. They want to know you're not wasting their time, and so they want to know that what's in it for them. And you sound committed, and you say, "Yeah," just go with being quite confident. "Yep, I'm going to do sales for you. I can do sales. I believe your products are a good match for my business. It matches our brand. We believe we could promote your products and easily get sales through." Even if you're not sure you can do that, say that, particularly when starting out, because you will. And I think you know, when I first started, AJ, I used to worry a lot. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if I sell a product and it doesn't get to the customer? But the thing is with business is that when you get to the challenge, you'll work it out. The same with getting suppliers. You're just going to work it out. So you say, how am I going to get the supplier on board? Just get into it. I mean, call them up, apply online, do what you can, and you'll work it out. And you'll work it hard to do it just by trial and error. Yeah.
Very good. And what did you have? Did you have situations where you were rejected or a supplier told you no? And what did you do?
Even now, making what I'm doing with the business, you know, we're probably approaching $1 million a year in sales, but some suppliers, for whatever reason, might say, "Look, we've already got a number of online retailers operating," which you can't take it to heart. I mean, you just move on. There's plenty of suppliers out there that will take you on. So there's no need to be not much of a setback. You just move on and try another supplier. As long as you pick up, I mean, once you get started, you'll pick up more suppliers than when you're brand new. But I had one supplier that knocked me back when I first started, but they've picked me up now, and I'm working with them now because I just said, "Look, we are doing these sales. Our average order size is $1,300, and just a few comments just to give them confidence, and then I'll get you going." Yeah.
Good. And so walk me through that experience and what went into getting your very first sale.
Very first sale, that would have been. That's interesting. The very first sale was actually, although it was an online sale, it was just bumping into a friend saying, "Hey, I've set up a business. What are you doing?" And they actually bought it. But I must admit, it was a friend I knew who bought online. But that allowed me to check out the process, make sure that their experience was right. So I tested a few orders out with friends, to be honest, AJ. But then within probably a couple of weeks, we got our first order from online from someone I don't know at all. No, it's fantastic. Just thinking back, it's going back a couple of years or so, but no, it's fantastic. Your spirits are lifted. If the customer loves the product, it's even better. For me, it's not actually just about sales. It's about making sure that I get a good profit, the customer receives it, and they love it. And once they love it and they've received it, that's it. That's when the sale's complete. And when we first did that, we celebrated with a bottle of champagne.
I love that. So you celebrated with a bottle of champagne, and you got your first sale from a referral from a friend, which, obviously it's not against the rules, right? You should be telling your friends and family and your network that you have this business and check it out. If they're looking, why not buy from you, instead of buying from some stranger? So with that said, tell me a little bit about your what you've been able to do with your ad campaign and how you've been able to scale it. Like, is it Google Shopping? Has it been more retargeting on Facebook? Just walk us through your ad campaign, if you don't mind.
Yeah, Google Shopping is perfectly suited to selling high ticket items. See, the secret is that if you're selling a low price item such as, I don't know, a cheap mirror or a bit of decor or whatever, your cost per click is actually very similar to a high ticket item. Without going into the details, I'm able to sell a product worth $2,000. Purchase price maybe with a wholesaler, maybe $1,300. And I can do it for as low as about 65 cents a click Australian, maybe 50 cents US a click. So the secret is you've got a high profit margin with such a low cost per click. So Google Shopping, you've got very low cost marketing there you can do. And having your image of a high ticket item, a quality product on the screen on the internet that people are looking up, it sells, it really works. So Google's brilliant. I began making money from Google Shopping within 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks probably, of setting it up. So it wasn't, people said it takes a long time to get a positive return on your investment with marketing. Not for me, not with Google Shopping. It's much better than that. It may take you longer than 3 weeks, but to be able to invest, what was I doing? $1,000 marketing campaign per month. That was it, just $1,000. And I was getting sales of maybe about $15,000 to $20,000. So that's a very low marketing spend to start off with. It did get more difficult over time, but just through adding negative keywords through Google Shopping, you can really target, you can really make sure you only get the best quality search terms coming through for your products. It's a little complicated, AJ, but I'm sure you understand that.
Definitely. And hopefully our members who are part of it will go through our Google Shopping Ads course to understand what you mean by negative keywords and long tail keywords. And even earlier when you mentioned pixels, it all sounds complicated when you haven't done it before, but once you learn it, you test it, you apply it, then you start you realizing like, okay, these are just, definitions of words that, have a specific meaning towards any action, right? So a pixel is a tracking code that you put on your website that comes from Facebook, really easy to do. And then Facebook knows who's visiting your website so you can retarget them, right? But let's see. How much time do you currently spend on your business?
Well, we've had an explosion in sales recently. It has gone up. It was about 25 hours a week, but now it's gone up to about 40 hours a week. It's come back to a normal job, but now as the sales have increased, now I'm beginning to automate processes. So as you grow and scale up and your marketing is being pushed up, then you're going to get more orders, you're going to get more phone calls. It's about 90 orders last month to get the 85,000. And I think that that's sudden increase in sales it's created a little more admin work. So what you do is just increase ways of reducing your time on the business. So you automate things, you can outsource a bit of marketing here and there. And I outsource some of their stock checking and basic tasks as well to make sure items are in stock from the suppliers. We just check all that's fine. And just a few tasks I'm beginning to automate now to make the business a bit more, you don't be working in the business, more of an automated business that you can enjoy. Yeah.
How do you handle and deal with refunds or chargebacks?
Yeah, so we have no problem. We make a lot of money. So firstly, for smaller items, if something's broken, we just replace it straight away. But the idea with the big high ticket item, to say you were selling a sofa or a credenza in furniture terms, or a lounge, you basically don't want to do a full refund. You learn how to treat each item. So let's say I had a sofa that was damaged in transit. Firstly, I don't pay for it. The supplier pays for it, so there's no risk to me. Secondly, if there was a risk to me, such as say an item wasn't the right color, the supplier refused to refund. It's very rare. If we're out of pocket, I give a partial refund to the customer. So let's say I sold an item for $1,000. I try to avoid the full refund. All I do is talk to the customer, get them on the phone. How about I give you a $200 refund? And that usually tides them over and you're done. Move on. Keys to move on quickly. And once you get a few odd requests for refund, it gets really easy. You just have a process. I get an image of a damaged product, send it to my supplier. They get back to me in a couple of days. I tell the customer's super happy. They can't believe that I'm replacing their product. Like last week, I had a damaged armchair. It was like a cane armchair. It was cracked. The customer called me up, a bit upset about it. No problem. I said, send me a photo, email it through. Then 24 hours, I confirmed I could replace it. Customer's super happy. I try and keep that customer on board for future orders. So really look after them. They spend a lot of money. Yeah, it's easy.
So I actually talked about this in my last coaching call with my members last week about how to handle refunds and chargebacks. And that's exactly what I said is you first try to negotiate with your customer because at the end of the day, they really don't want to repackage it, mail it back and deal with all the headache. And sometimes if you offer a partial credit or partial refund, that mitigates the entire problem. They keep the product, you keep the profit. And sounds like that's something that you're doing. And even if you have to give $100 or $200 refund, you're still generating a profit versus refunding the entire amount. And then now you're out of pocket, right? The whole thing.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's interesting. You just touch on that. So what about chargebacks? Do you deal with a lot of chargebacks or fraudulent transactions?
Yes. No, not anymore. Initially, yes. You learn how to identify fraudulent transactions in particular. So when I first started, we were unsure, but now with any bit of experience, you can see fraudulent transaction through Shopify. You can work out some core factors. It just comes with experience. For me, I'll know there's a few things like the billing address. Shopify will tell me the billing address doesn't match the delivery address. It'll tell you. But the key thing though, there are applications out there you can use, and I use a certain application to avoid fraud orders. But with experience, you're basically going to spot it really easily. So even an unusual, I had an email address from a fraudster said slipperysnake@gmail.com. I mean, that in itself was saying, oh, okay. But it was already credit card information was being tried and failed. And you can see it all on Shopify. But with experience, you're going to work it out. When you're new, you need to be aware of it. For large sales, you see someone all of a sudden spending a large amount of money, say $5,000 or $10,000. You need to just be very cautious with that. Yes.
Okay. Good advice. But in any case, anytime you've had that, because you're bringing on so much sales and so much and enough profit, if you deal with a chargeback or a fraudulent transaction, you kind of offset that because you're already bringing enough sales to offset any risk, right? So that's also a business strategy. Now, what would you say to somebody on the fence about starting an online high-ticket dropshipping business, or even maybe someone who's thinking about joining my coaching program in Elite Dropship Academy? What would you say to them, to those that are still on the fence?
The time is right at the moment. You've got an increased number of people going online. You've got a business model that works. I know it works because I've done it. Selling high-ticket items online at the moment, you can make a lot of money. You just have to choose the right niche, and you'll do well. Don't be afraid. You just have to, in life, you have to take action. You just have to get in there and do it. It's not as safe initially as a job. But then again, how safe is a job these days with all these people being laid off lately? I would go into it, and the financial risk is super low. Putting money into a course, expanding your knowledge. Even if you did a course and you didn't set up a business, you've got that knowledge that you can use in the future. You can't really go too wrong with it, I'd say, AJ. Do it.
I love that. I love that. So what would you say to those that still feel like starting an online business or buying a course or a coaching program? There's people out there that feel like it's a scam. It's not for them. It's just, so what would you say to those people that have that hesitation because they feel like this is a type of business that's a scam?
I think when choosing a course, you've got to be a little bit cautious about where you're going to spend your money, sure. But at the moment, you've got an instance where there's a boom going on online and there's lots of money to be made. And there's a lot of courses out there. I would say there's a lot of valid courses. There's so many courses out there you can do. I think this course, Elite Dropshipping, is probably, for me, it was the best course. For me, it was suitable for me, how I think. And I could see that it worked. I knew it worked. And so I just got into it. You just have to take a chance. I think the more knowledge you get, the more you understand the details of the course, the more confidence you're going to have. It'll make sense to you over time. Once you get a few sales through, you go, it does work. That's, of course, it works because you've got a low-cost business. You've got, you're selling items with a large profit margin. Of course it works. There's not many people in society really who have really gone into online business just yet. I mean, the world of online is still relatively new. It's only been around since the 90s, really. And so you've got an opportunity, and it comes down to it. You either take it or you join in 10 years' time or 20 years' time when it's gone mainstream. I would start now. I would not delay. I think it's a good idea. As long as you're committed and you persevere, you're willing to commit, then do it. Yeah.
And is there anything else you'd like to add on before we end today's interview?
You've got to have a good reason for opening up a business and getting into it. And for me, it's freedom. And as long as you've got a good reason and you're committed to it and you deep down want to succeed, you will succeed. You just commit to yourself deep down and get into it, persevere. There's no pats on the back when you're going for a business. You're not going to get a reward from a manager coming up to you saying, job well done when you're starting out. So you have to be able to have a bit of, grit, like work hard, persevere, and keep going without those pats on the back because they'll come later. And yeah, stick at it. The secret to it is stick at it. Keep learning. If something doesn't work, change it. Try a new strategy. Try a new niche, for instance, and so on. Keep at it, and you'll succeed. If you commit to it, you'll succeed.